Hey, my name is Caitlin Brodsky, and today I am going to show you my little recipe for a clean popcorn, and it is going to be made in nothing else than a mason jar. I'm on a journey to lose weight and clean up what I am putting into my body. I am keeping my ingredients to a very small list. So with this, all you need is a quart-size mason jar, and you don't want to use a larger size because it gets a little too hot and the popcorn can get burnt. So you don't want to do that. Small is always better. This is personal serving. Now, the other things that you will need some just popcorn kernels, and then I like to make mine with coconut oil. I use virgin coconut oil, and it just adds a nice sweetness to it. So it's not quite like kettle corn, but I think it's better. Now, the other thing that I like to add is sea salt. So I did ditch the plastic, and I like to keep this in a mason jar as well. Why not? And at least that way I can see what I've got, and it's in a more confined space. So for this recipe, I am going to just do a handful of kernels, just like that, and pour that in. I think that looks perfect in here. Now, I am also going to be adding 1 teaspoon of the coconut oil. Okay. And then I just wipe my finger off. All that oil will go down there. And sea salt. Now here's the trick for this. You have to add a little splash of water. So let's go over to my dirty sink. Now, the other item that we need to do is I have just a little paper towel. I'm folding it in half, and I'm getting it very wet. And I am just going to squeeze out the excess. So this has still got a good weight to it. Then we just set it on top, and this weight with the water is going to keep all the popcorn kernels from escaping the jar. Now let's stick it in the microwave. Well, the reflection on the glass is kind of doing me a disservice, but at first you'll see it's kind of boiling, and eventually some of the water and the oil will boil down and boil out, and the kernels will start popping about the last minute. And this might change for your microwave. You might need to do it for a little less time or a little more time, and it also is going to depend on how much oil and or water that you put in there too. Now, I also wanted to mention that you can switch out the coconut oil with ghee, exactly the same. I just use a teaspoon and it works great. And as it's popping, each kernel is picking up a little bit of the oil and or butter ghee. Whatever you decide to use, it's going to pick up a little bit, and then it's going to move to the top. And the kernels under that will do the same thing. So, and you can also use butter, but if you use butter, you don't want to add the water because butter already has more water than ghee or oil in it. So, just so you know. Now, why in the world do you use water? That is because you don't want to burn the kernels. It gets a little too hot in the glass if you don't use any water. So it'll get burnt a little bit, and if you use just a little bit of water, it makes the perfect popcorn. Okay, ready? The big reveal. Isn't that beautiful? Then I take this, we've got a full glass of popcorn, and you will need a rag to pick up the jar because it's hot. The perfect popcorn. The best part about this popcorn is I know exactly what's in it. And because I know exactly what's in it, I can share it with my son. I bite out the kernels and I'll let him have the other stuff. And he loves it. Doesn't look like it, but I promise he'll chase me around the house to get more.